Retirement is complicated and everybody wants to find the right way to organize their finances for a successful and hopefully a long retirement. But I think it's a big mistake to think that there is one right or best way of doing anything, even though that's a mistake I've made myself. Hi and welcome back to the channel. My name is Pete Matthew and I'm a chartered financial planner based here in the UK. One thing I think that we can agree on is that cash flow is king. In retirement, yes, but really at any time. I prefer talking about cash flow rather than income because income is kind of a subset of cash flow. It's just one form of cash flow coming in. I think of cash flow as being centered around your current account. You know, the account that you spend out of every single day. Think of that like a bucket, and the bucket has a level of water in it, and that's the balance of your account. There is a tap on the bucket which lets water out, and that's our spending, usually at a fairly steady rate, but sometimes quite quickly. The bucket is topped up each month from state pensions, DB pensions, rent from investment properties, all that sort of stuff. And then we can dip into our other buckets, our ISA, GIA, SIP, premium bonds, savings accounts. We're moving money in to our current account so that we can spend it. But it's the balance between guaranteed income and dipping into capital that is one of the biggest areas of contention when we plan for clients and where I think there's the biggest danger of making a mistake. So many of us have or will have guaranteed income that's coming to us no matter what in retirement, such as a state pension, benefits from a DB pension scheme maybe. Sometimes we have some control over how much we get and when, and sometimes we don't. So maybe if we're buying an annuity, we can make some choices about that. Sometimes we can choose to take tax-free cash and a lower pension, or no cash and a higher guaranteed income. It's really rare that I come across anybody who will have all their retirement cash flow needs met by guaranteed sources. Almost everyone is going to have to dip into capital to some degree, even if it's just for funding the bigger one-off expenses. The benefit, of course, of guaranteed income is in the name. It's guaranteed. It's secure. The best forms of this income are also indexed, so they will rise over time to try and keep pace with rising costs. And sometimes these kinds of income might provide benefits to our partner after we've gone, if we've chosen that. The downside of a guaranteed income is usually that it can't be left down a generation to our children or grandchildren. Plenty of people transferred out really valuable guaranteed benefits under DB pension schemes into DC schemes that they could draw on because they wanted to be able to leave something to their family, assuming, of course, and it's a really big assumption, that they don't spend it all while they're alive. Perhaps it's obvious then that the pros and cons of drawing from capital are essentially the reverse of those pros and cons for secured income. I mean, there are no guarantees at all if you've got money invested. The longevity of that money is very much dependent on your rate of withdrawal, plus, of course, the vagaries of market movements, as well as portfolio charges, taxation, and inflation. But if you manage things well, and if you have enough, there may be some left to leave behind. Of course, it would be really handy if we knew how long we were going to live, but we don't. Of course, there is a kind of halfway house here. We could invest our capital in such a way that it produces an income. So that's dividend or yield investing. We don't touch the capital or even care much about how it fluctuates up and down because the primary goal is an income that we can enjoy. The income will fluctuate, that's the nature of the beast. So it's not quite a secured income like an annuity or the state pension, but still, it's a very useful additional approach to retirement cash flow. Hope this is useful / interesting so far. If it is, you know what to do. Please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you're not already, because it really helps the channel to grow. Cheers. And so we have a kind of spectrum. That's why I did the background in two different colors like this. So we're ranging from secured, guaranteed income over here, moving through less secure sources of income all the way to drawing off pure capital at the other end. And the mistake that I've made, and I've seen many others do it too, is to assume that one of these options is better than the other. I've sat in countless presentations, usually by investment managers, where people have preached the benefits of dividend investing. For years, people have been decrying annuities as rubbish. And you only have to set foot in a FIRE forum to hear people talk about supposedly safe withdrawal rates. Well, each of these approaches has merit, and those merits are defined really by only one factor: you. Your situation is unique because you are unique. Your age, your health, your feelings about risk, legacy, fluctuation of income, provision for partners, all of these things will speak to the solution which will work for you now. And those feelings are likely to change throughout retirement, I would venture. So we're going to need to reassess this stuff as we go along. No question about it though, the biggest factor in deciding the optimal retirement path for you is you. It's not the chosen approach, it's historical performance and its pros and cons. It's you. So I think we need to explore this a bit further, and we're going to do that a bit in coming videos and throughout this year. I want to look into how we can perhaps pre-think some of this stuff and order our finances correctly, kind of positioning the pieces well ahead of retirement so that when we get there, we're fully ready to take advantage of all the optimal options. I mean, is there a way we can conduct a kind of self-assessment to determine which approach to retirement cash flow might work best for us? Food for thought. I'm going to be writing a book on this subject later this year, so we're going to do some thinking and researching together. Sound all right? If you're not on the Meaningful Money email list, you can sign up for that on the link here and in the description. And I'll keep you posted on everything that's going on here in my weekly Meaningful Digest email, plus any developments as I write the book in the coming months. Okay? Stay tuned for more on this subject very soon. In the meantime, please don't make the mistake of being too dogmatic or blinkered about your retirement cash flow options. Thanks for watching this one. Hit the like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next video.